Okay, let me also talk about your midterm exam a little bit. And it's going to be personalized. Those who had statistics with me, they know how it looks like. It's very similar. The format is very similar to the way we had for our final for statistics. But let me talk about it briefly today. And if you have any questions, please ask me after I finish talking about it. So very soon, as you know, you will have your midterm exam. It's going to be on December 4th. It will start at 8 o'clock. I will upload the file as an assignment link on O2 class, and you will have 1 day to submit your work. You may ask me why I consider 8 a.m. Actually, I didn't prefer that. I preferred 6 o'clock in the evening, but unfortunately, there are so many exams during December, and I had no choice to start it from 8 o'clock. That's the time that the department could give me. But this is good somehow because you can finish it much before the deadline. You can finish it before even 10 o'clock, and you can go to sleep without worrying about the rest of the exam because you already finished it before 10 o'clock. It's possible. But if you didn't have enough practice, then that would be a disaster until 8 o'clock. I don't want anyone to be awake to deal with that. That's why it's very important to understand about the topics, practice with the weekly assignments, so that you don't need to be awake until 8 a.m. and you can go to bed much before it. So let's go through the items that you should be careful about in the midterm exam. Of course, you will have time to read this file when I upload it on O2 class on December 4th. But anyway, let's read them together once. So the midterm homework exam is personalized. That is, each student should answer only the questions which are assigned to him or her. You can find the question you should answer in front of your student ID in the following table. So you will have a table. Inside this table, your student IDs are typed on the left side of the table, and in front of each student number you can see the questions that you can answer. For example, for this student 1.1, it means that this student should read the question 1 carefully, and then according to 1.1 answer the question. Because for example, the strings maybe you should deal with is different, the sequences, the profiles you should deal with is different for you to compare to other students, and maybe there are also some other limitations for you in your sub questions which is different from with other students. That's why it should be careful to answer only your questions which are assigned to you. Answering the questions which are not assigned to you not only won't be graded, but you will receive negative points for them. So please be very careful to mention exactly about your question numbers in your answer solution file, and not to answer someone else's question by mistake, because you will receive negative points. It will be considered as cheating. And unfortunately, we had some in the previous final exam, and those students received negative points. And so please, let's try to avoid that. So please go through the following table carefully and only provide the solutions for the question which are assigned to you. In your solution file, don't forget to write the question number of each question that you are given the solution to. We talked about it. If your name is not in the list, please contact me as soon as possible so that I will assign you the questions that you can answer. But I selected the list from O2 class, so all of you should be there. Provide the complete solution. This is very important. It means that you should include the correct formulas, assign numbers one by one to the correct formula, and have the correct calculations. Please avoid miscalculation, because they can decrease your grade. And the final answer, of course, is important as well. You have 24 hours. That's why you should be careful about everything to provide me a perfect solution. So in order to provide me a perfect solution, you should double check or even go through your solution multiple times. And as I said, a good student can finish it much earlier than the deadline. Even for 12 hours would be good enough to deal with it, including the breaks you have between them. So use only the methods that we talked about in our lectures. Yeah, this is also an important point because some students, for example, may want to go through different videos on YouTube or any other sources to learn, for example, about HMM. This is not suggested because, as I mentioned, the way they construct their models may be different. Maybe we didn't talk about some specific algorithms in our course. And that's why you should follow exactly the methods that we mentioned in our lectures. Other ones won't be accepted and they won't be graded. You can't use a computer software or tool. You should provide us the complete solutions as mentioned. Yeah, this is obvious. If you are asked to provide us complete solutions, then it's not possible to run a program and give us the final answer because you will lose all the points related to that question. You can type all your answers, or you have this option to take pictures of your solutions and insert those pictures in your solution file. Yeah, this is true because in some part of your solutions, for example, drawing HMM takes time. So it's okay that you just write it on a piece of paper and take a picture of it and insert it in your Word file. But please make sure that the quality is good, because if I cannot read it, so obviously I cannot grade it. So the quality should be good. Otherwise, you should draw it using the computer. So submit a single file on AutoClass, either in Word or PDF format. So these are the only formats that you can submit your work. Other formats won't be graded. Don't make a zip file out of it. And I prefer Word file. If you provide me Word file, it's even better than PDF, but doesn't matter. If you provide me PDF, it's fine. Late submissions will receive 1 negative point per minute. So you should submit your work much before 8 a.m. anyway. I prefer that you submit it even the night before it. So that we won't face this problem, because the internet speed or your computer problems, all of them can happen, and for each minute you will lose points. So don't postpone submitting your work until the last minute. You can submit it a few hours before it with no problem. Okay, so don't make such risk. The personalized questions contain 100 points. Each personalized question contains 25 points. Yes. So you will face 4 questions in general, and each one of them contains 25%. And as I mentioned, each student should answer the question which is assigned to him. For example, 1.5, you answer to this one, and this one contains 25 points. And as you know, the weight of your midterm exam is 35%. For the pandemic, I consider 30% just for weekly assignments. And as you know, I'm not strict about them. So it's very good chance for you to gather points from weekly assignments. For our face-to-face classes, we won't ever have 30% just for weekly assignment. But in pandemic, it's nice to be flexible. But for midterm and final exam, although the questions are very easy comparing to homework exam, I'm very strict about your answers. So please practice enough before facing the exam. So please note that the grading format of open book exams, especially if it's online with a long duration like 24 hours, is totally different from typical paper-based exam, because but the way we grade your papers is very different. For your paper-based exam, sometimes you make some minor errors, we don't even mind. You have miscalculation, we don't mind. Sometimes you receive complete mark for them. Because you are in rush, you have 90 minutes to answer all the questions, and this is not an open book exam. Everything should be in your mind, including formulas, the way you should deal with the exam. But when we are talking about the exam, that you have internet, you have books around you, you have everything that you need. So you should be careful about providing the answers to make it perfect, to have no miscalculations, for example, to not providing us extra formulas, for example. So this one, you should be careful, because just a single error can decrease your points significantly. And sometimes because just one error, you can lose 25 points, It's very important to be careful about providing us the answers. So don't rush. You have lots of time to provide us the final answers, and provide us the complete solutions, and try to not to make any miscalculation. Avoid providing irrelevant solutions, because when we are talking about formulas, we have limited of them in our course. So assume that for each question, you provide me all the formulas that you already had, and you say, okay, I provide the formula, so I should receive points for that. But you should provide us the corresponding formula exactly belong to that question. If you provide us irrelevant solution, or for example formulas, then you will receive negative points for it. So as you have noticed, we have updated some part of the lecture files during the online session. Please watch all the videos carefully to know about the latest version of the lectures with no errors. This is very important, guys, because for example, for the slides, the ones that I've provided for you on Auto class, I've updated them for the videos. For example, for today, for HMM, I even changed one of the probabilities. The previous file had one error inside. So in order to not make any mistake, you should watch the videos carefully and update the lecture accordingly. Because if you refer to the lectures that we have uploaded to Auto class before, then maybe there are some errors there, and if you answer the questions based on them, it will be wrong. So how to avoid such misunderstanding? As I said, you should watch all the videos related to lectures. You should watch the weekly assignment videos. They are very important. I exactly specify what do I need in the midterm exam, even inside the weekly assignment videos. So please make sure that you watch all the videos carefully many times. Please make sure that you will participate in this exam, because there's no makeup for our midterm exam. Yes, if you don't participate, unfortunately, you will receive 0, and we won't have a makeup exam for our midterm or final. So please make sure that you will submit your file before the deadline. The level of this exam is easy comparing to a typical open book exam, so do your best, and I wish you luck in that exam for sure. So we had so many limitations, so many warnings for you, but in the last one, I also should mention that this exam is very easy. And if you compare it with other semesters, when we have paper-based exams, and this one is very easy. And I'm sure if you know how to deal with weekly assignments, this exam, of course, the level of this exam is harder than weekly assignments, but it's very similar. If you know the logic, if you understood how to deal with those problems, I'm sure you will have good score at the end. And those who had statistics with me, they know how it will be. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I think the rules and everything is pretty clear. I will also share you the file exactly in the mentioned time, and you can also read them again.